What is up, guys? I have officially K-swapped my Subaru Impreza. The engine and transmission are both permanently mounted in my car. I didn't perfectly document it. I have some clips I took from my phone and posted on my Instagram and Snapchat of just the process of me doing it. These next clips took approximately 4 months or so to actually go from a bare shell to the K-Series being fully built into my car. But without further ado, let's go get into this commentary so you can see and understand the full process on why I did everything that I did. So with the K-Power transmission adapter, I did have to cut the starter hole out for the BMW. Here's the Ferrea 6000 series valves. I got the drag cartel cams with the SuperTech 92-pound dual valve springs and titanium retainers and keepers and everything like that. Came with a nice lanyard. Here's me acting stupid. Here's the head after the machine shop. They put everything in. The valves held phenomenally from what they said, 100%, no leakage at all. I went with the JE Pro head gasket because I saw other people using them. And then I cut out my radiator support so I can get the engine and trans out and in easily. No, I'm not deleting my steering. I had to space my steering shaft down, as you can see, because I spaced my subframe down an inch to help clear the K-Series better. But I had to buy 10 feet of the Schedule 40 pipe just for the single inch to extend it. I ordered a front sump oil pan from K-Power, but it's taking too long to get here, so I cut my stock one to the approximate size for mock-up. As you can see, that's me tilting it back to get the 5-degree angle the K-Series come with, and I was hitting the rack and pinion mount. I still am, so I still might cut that piece off. Here's after I installed the drag cartel cams after just setting the engine in the bay just for looks, you know what I mean. Ahead and got the drag cartel timing kit, heavy duty chain, upgraded keyway, the bottom timing part. Here's the adjustable exhaust cam gear. I had the factory VTC gear, which I kept. There's everything installed and in time. Everything looks so nice and hot right there. This is a universal 2-inch poly bushing that I'm using as my motor mounts, and then my water pump housing was missing, so I went and got one from the junkyard. You can see it's all nice and dirty. My hands were so black. Using cheap dollar store oven cleaner is what I found to work the best, so I soaked it down, sprayed it with my power washer, as you can see, all nice and clean. Then I got the TF Works coolant hose relocation kit. It moves the coolant hoses from the back of the firewall, puts it under the intake manifold, and that thermostat is fully adjustable, 360 degrees. You can see all nice and painted and put on. New thermostat housing being put in place. As you can see, it does swivel, so I can put it wherever I need it to be for the rear-wheel drive application. These are the stock Subaru mounts on the TSS Fab subframe that I'm going to have to chop off because I no longer have the Subaru engine mounts on, obviously. Made these little plates out of 1/4-inch steel to hold the bushing up. I just needed to figure out a way how to attach them to the subframe. So after cutting both of these off, I went ahead and used a grinder wheel, cleaned up those old welds off of it. Here's after I put a 1/4-inch steel plate on the subframe. I just made those my mounts with my Yes welder that I barely know how to use at the moment. I mocked the engine up to get it approximately where I wanted it to be. As you can see, the jack on the oil pan holding it at that 5-degree angle that the K-Series like to sit at. The motor mounts are right where they need to be. Everything's looking good. I just have to figure out how to attach that CNC cut plate to the motor mount. This was the biggest deal, the angle. I don't want the engine sitting too far back. As you can see, we started at 8. I was hitting right there on the subframe, and the biggest problem was the transmission clearance, especially trying to get the shifter to work. I went ahead and drilled a hole through my cab right where I wanted it to stop at, so I knew where to start cutting. You can see a little drill bit there, so right at the end of that brace. So I started cutting it out using an angle grinder and a sawzall. So cut straight through that factory carpet. Don't really care about that. Ruin this whole piece anyways. And there's the other side getting cut. I went ahead and had to go at it with an angle grinder from the top side as well. And boom, just like that. Took this big chunk of metal, got a bunch of different pieces, got to clean up all them edges though. Still haven't gotten around to that part yet. Not too worried about it at the moment. And here's the shifter mocked up, transmission jacked up in place. Gonna have to extend the shifter about 2 inches or so to get it right centered where I want it to be. Not sure if the trim is gonna fit, but here is the inch schedule 40 pipe that I use for the motor mounts. I was able to keep that angle right there in one piece. In the driver's side, I had to use 2 pieces because that angle was too sharp. Here's me undoing the jack, letting the engine down on its own weight. Same with the engine hoist, and now the engine and transmission are being held up on their own. I made this mount out of the same metal I used for the steering shaft. You can see it's just random pipe with little flanges put on for the stock transmission mount, held up by a scissor jack. Just have it tack welded in place because I'm going to take it off and re-weld it just like that. Doesn't look the prettiest, but it works. Still learning how to weld, still learning how to fabricate. Never done any of this before, so give me a break, please. All right. Here's everything painted and put in place. No jacks whatsoever, not balancing. The engine is permanently mounted in the Subaru frame. Just got off of work, decided to lower the car down. The first time the front wheels have been on the ground in a minute. Everything looks so good. I was worried about clearance, but as you can see, clearance is phenomenal. Not sure how low the front sump is going to sit once I get that, or if it's even going to fit. May have to do more modifications in the future, but I decided to go ahead and push it out and see what it looks like in the sun. And boom, just like that, K-Series in Subaru, looking so nice. Looks like it's meant to be there. Sits so good. I love it. And just like that, I can say that I am officially K-swapped. I am no longer K-swapping my car. I have officially fucking K-swapped my goddamn Subaru.